Hi everybody, welcome to our professional development webinar for April of 2022. We're always really excited to be able to introduce a new course, and that's what we're doing today. We're going to introduce our new C# programming course. Hopefully this is not the first webinar you've seen this year, so you probably already know who I am. This is Chris Youst from CompuScholar, and I'm always happy to answer your questions. You can email me at chris.youst@compuscholar.com. So those of you that are familiar with the CompuScholar lineup recognize that we already have a course titled Windows Programming with C#, and this is our legacy course that's been around for a number of years, and we actually decided to completely rewrite this course into the new C# programming course. And why did we do that? Well, there were a number of things that we wanted to improve on the old course. The old course requires Visual Studio, and it relies on that locally installed software, so the students are doing all of their projects in Visual Studio. And while that's a great integrated development environment, it does require that local installation and kind of constrains the number of devices that you can use in order to complete the hands-on projects. So we wanted to break that restriction. And that local software installation implies that the students are doing all of their projects offline on a local computer, and that therefore the teacher needs to manually grade those projects and handle all the file management and submissions that are implied with students doing offline work. We've also, over time, added some new features to some of our other courses like Python and Java, where we've got auto-graded projects and vocabulary lists within the lessons, and a variety of other improvements. So we just felt like it was time to really turn some attention to the C# language and produce a brand new course that meets all of our modern standards. I will mention that our Windows Programming with C# course has been reviewed and adopted in a number of states, and per those state contracts, the course will remain available to anybody that wants to continue using it. In our experience, when teachers have a shiny new course that they can use, they'll all stampede over in that direction. But just in case you do want to continue using the old course, it will remain available. But I will highlight that our new C# programming course will meet all of the same state standards that the old course does. So we're pretty well versed in meeting state standards at this point, and we wanted to make sure that the new course met all of the old state standards as well as some new ones that the legacy course did not. All right, let's turn our attention to the new C# programming course and see what it has to offer. So the C# programming course is completely rewritten. We went through all of the lessons, all the activities, and completely rewrote and resequenced a lot of that material. It does use our familiar online integrated development environment, so there's no more local software installation. Just like our Java and our Python courses, students will now be able to code and submit all of their work online. And naturally, with that online submission, we can now auto-grade those student projects, and so teachers will enjoy that auto-graded feature. As part of the rewrite, we've added vocabulary lists into the lessons and included other modern features that are now standard in some of our other courses. And as I mentioned before, the new course will meet and exceed all of the previously met state standards. So we have not lost any material in the rewrite, and in fact, we've added a pretty substantial amount of material. The scope and the sequence of the new course is loosely patterned after our Java programming class. So if you look through our Java programming class, you'll find the arrangement of chapters and lessons to be very, very similar. However, the C# programming course is intentionally a little bit more introductory. So if you're planning a set of course tracks, you would probably want to do our C# programming course first, and then do Java programming second as a somewhat more advanced course. So the Java programming course is endorsed by the College Board for APCSA, and it includes some topics that are specific to APCSA. But back in the C# programming course, where we don't necessarily need to talk about some of those advanced things, we'll just skip over those or maybe gloss over them a little bit for that more introductory experience. The C# programming course is currently under active development, and it will be available starting in the fall of 2022. There is a preview now that's available through your teacher's account. So those of you that have a public or private school teacher account in our system, we'll have a teacher dashboard where you can request review access, and a preview of the course is now visible on that review panel. So let's go check that out. Before we look at the preview course, I briefly wanted to show you on our main website here at CompuScholar.com, you can go to For Classrooms, And the new C# programming course is now listed here under our set of courses. And we don't yet have a little demo video that'll be coming soon. There's a link to an announcement and status page. And you can go to the course syllabus and actually view the syllabus as well. And I'll show you a little bit more about the syllabus in a moment. All right, I've switched over to our learning management system and I've logged in with my teacher account here in my teacher dashboard. And you can see I've got the C# programming course right here. And those of you that don't have any review courses listed will have that request review access button visible, and you can click on that and we'll approve your request. So let's dive into the preview course. So as of right now, in April 2022, the course is still a work in progress. So we've taken essentially a stable snapshot of the first 15 or 16 chapters for you to look at. So the text up here at the top will describe what we have done and what we still need to do. So for example, we don't have instructional videos yet. Those will be the last things that we add in. The preview does have the first 16 chapters available with all the work with me exercises within the lessons. All of the chapter activities are complete, so you can get a good feel for the nature of the course that way. And we're going to come through later again and add the instructional videos, additional homework exercises, and things like that. You do have a link again to the course syllabus right here. Let me click on that. And the syllabus is still marked as draft at the moment, and it's pretty straightforward if you've seen any of our other syllabi. Give you some guidance on the course navigation, some guidance on the amount of time to spend each day, and then a walkthrough of the chapters and lessons. And again, this will be pretty similar, but not quite as detailed as our Java programming course. All right, let's scroll down here. And all of our courses are laid out the same way, so this is pretty familiar. You can dive into the chapters. You can find video, text, and quiz just like everything else. Open a lesson text. You can see we have the same online coding engine here for C#. The work with me exercises are complete. And the quizzes and tests for the first 16 chapters are complete as well. So you've got the quiz answer keys and things like that. Now students can access our online IDE just by clicking on the activity link. So you'll have activity instructions, which are the standard, pretty straightforward step-by-step instructions for completing the course, along with any starting code. And we can click on this link to reach the online IDE. And this is actually a teacher view where you can look at the preview of the problems, including the starting code. You can actually work the problems yourself if you want to. And you have access to the solutions and so forth. So this is our new online IDE that's pretty familiar to those of you that have used the Java or the Python courses in the past. So back on the main table of contents, I'll just scroll down here briefly. As I mentioned earlier, we have expanded the content quite a bit, so things that we may have delegated to a single lesson previously, like algorithms, now have their own chapter. If you scroll on down, you can see we do have a full chapter dedicated to, for example, two-dimensional arrays, whereas before that was a single lesson in the old course. So we really kind of took a page from our Java programming class that had a larger number of smaller lessons to kind of break the content up into more manageable pieces. And so that's the way the new C# course is laid out as well. And in the current preview of the course, a lot of the chapters here after chapter 16 are just marked as coming soon. So you can see the title of the chapter, but there's nothing there yet. So we'll upload that additional content in the coming weeks and months. There's a team project at the end. And for those of you that still like to use Visual Studio, just like in our Java and our Python courses, we will include instructions in this course for how to download and install Visual Studio if you want your students to use that platform. So they can use Visual Studio just at the end of the course if you want them to do some of this optional content and explore how to do graphical desktop applications, or if you want them to use Visual Studio to do earlier work and then just submit that work online after they've got it correct and working to the best of their ability within Visual Studio, you can do that as well. And then obviously we'll have all of our standard supplemental chapters here at the end of the course. So that's just a very quick preview of the C# programming course. Again, would encourage you to get your teacher review account if you don't already, so you can check it out for yourself. Right now, again, the first 16 chapters are online, and the remaining chapters will follow in the next month or so. As always, we appreciate your time. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can reach us by phone or through our website or send me an email directly.